arms around me, baby.
10:13, little bit of change. State of the race coverage continues with the Mayor of South Roxana, TJ Callahan. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, CJ. Just recovering, as you know.
Yeah.
It's been a rough week and a half. Unexpected surgery, that was kind of crazy.
Well, I'm just going to be honest here, and I normally don't say that. What's crazy is the South Roxana race that's going on right now, man. And
Yeah.
I just things that I followed and the multiple races that we're covering, it just seems like it's kind of getting a little wonky over there. And it has for quite some time. And, I have taken my fair share of brunt, I think, in this in some way, shape, or form, but that's okay. You are running for re-election.
Yes.
You were appointed the mayor less than, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, too, CJ, that as well as anything is you cannot control social media, right? And you see what's going on. Everybody else sees what's going on. So it's just nice to be able to actually come on record and state facts. You know what I mean?
Well, and there was and that's the case too. And it's one of those where you guys don't have a huge population, so
No.
A race could be decided by a certain amount of votes. And now with it this year, you're the only name on the ballot, but your opponent's running as a write-in, correct?
That is correct.
And why is that?
So, not to go into detail,
Yes,
but
yeah,
but as well, you have got to fill out your proper packets correctly, and if your packets are not correctly filled out, as well as I do, they don't get certified. So
it's true. Well, and I guess let's dive right into this, because a couple of months ago we did an article about the village that was being sued by a trustee over a FOIA request. And, there was so much going on and back and forth on social media. It was hard to kind of follow, for me anyway, because I'm not the news team upstairs, to really follow this story. So I just want your perspective on this. Take me through the course of events.
Yeah, so the trustee, who is my opponent, sued and never once requested records of the board meeting, the staff, throughout Attorney's General office, which would have been free. You know what I mean? Instead, she filed a lawsuit, and it cost the village unnecessary money.
Well, and so what was the lawsuit about, TJ? I mean, that's what I'm curious. I mean, just so I kind of know as well, what led to that? Was it just was it like a private thing? What led to the FOIA?
It was using fake names, emails, FOIA requests, and that's really what really brings up my concerns behind the lawsuit and the integrity of my opponent. My opponent also has come out publicly admitted to creating more fake Facebook accounts and bashing the governing board, which they set on. Like, that is very concerning.
Wait, what? Hold on. so
Yeah.
I know that you prepared some remarks and all that because you have your notes, but I want to kind of go off of that real quick because so there was a fake Facebook page for South Roxana?
There is fake, not necessarily a fake Facebook page.
I'm being serious here. I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
But there are fake. My opponent created a fake Facebook name bashing the town and the governing board and admitted to it. That is very concerning to me. And it publicly admitted that.
Is it not against your code or your ordinances? Like, is there no...
There's no ordinances, and unfortunately in social media, you're allowed to do that.
Huh, okay. Well, how'd you guys kind of combat that? Because that's what I'm curious about, man. And I'm not trying to be a jerk here with, but it's, to me, it doesn't matter who you are. When you're a smaller village, I mean, yeah, you can't create another New York City Facebook page.
That's right.
But it's pretty easy to start smaller, regional ones. Like it could be a South Roxana, it could even be a Hartford. Just depending on the size, if you want to look at it that way.
Sure. I mean, we're actually bigger than Roxana.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I will say this.
It's baffling.
It is baffling. But I will say this. Kudos to the RiverBender. You all helped us tremendously with the getting the website up.
Oh, yeah, they did do the website.
Everything now is on the website. You
That's
don't
right.
have to go on pages that people create and so forth. You can go right on the website and get exactly all the information that you need.
Well, and that's what I wanted to ask you about too, because you really have been trying. You had some projects like the senior center, and now the website, which I completely forgot about, which is brand new and updated.
Yes.
But going back to these FOIA requests, what starts them? Is it because there's rumors going around, so you get one or two people that kind of do it, or is it one person that was filing the same request? That's what I want to kind of keep. I just want to ask real quick, just to make sure I'm hearing this correctly.
Mm-hmm. So going back to the FOIA request, we get numerous fake accounts.
Yeah.
That's hard. I will tell you this, with the limited staff that we have spent significant time in trying to fulfill them. So I actually pulled record, just an example, in 2023, we had one FOIA. Okay. In 2024, we are up to 276 FOIAs.
What?
Exactly.
Whoa, hold on. That's for South Rock. How many people live in your town? And I'm not being funny, or your village.
I know. It's crazy, right? I think we have 2,000, 1,800, 2,000 people.
God.
So
how much does that cost you? I mean, that's what, because, and this is where I go into it, because I don't care. Listen, TJ, you're my friend, and I think that's great. Everyone knows that. But the problem is, if you do something wrong, my job in the media is to call you out.
That's
if
right.
someone FOIAs you and all of a sudden, wow, there is some bad stuff going on, well, I got to at least have you on the show if you want and talk about it, because that's my job. However, on the flip side of that, and this is where it kind of got nasty the last time with, people kind of insinuating that, oh, I didn't send something to St. Louis media. I'm not the gatekeeper of news, number one. Number two, these FOIA requests, though, on the back end can bankrupt a city and a village.
Absolutely.
Because you have to keep expending these resources to match those FOIA requests. And when you have an inundation of them, you, number one, don't have a huge office. You don't have all this team manpower to get it done. So it slows down everything, too.
You're exactly right. And it goes right back. So just like prime example, the clerk does the water. She does the bookkeeping, other administrative roles, and now in 1 year, and she hasn't even been there a year because we had our other clerk leave.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 276. So you're more or less burdensome on another person to where it's like, okay, now I'm going to have to go even further to look at trying to get help when it doesn't need to be.
Right. Well, and two, I think it for you guys to grow and for any town to grow, you can't have this litigation. It's one thing to, I guess it's not okay, but it's one thing to do it just as a campaign thing, and we're gonna look into this and we're gonna get them and all. But whenever you start really wasting the resources and tax dollars, I think that's where it comes a little bit different. And if you're telling me, listen, on record, there's 276, do you think they're all from the same person?
I don't want to go into assumption because I can't do that. But I will tell you this, as we look into it, all the FOIA requests, and we talk about the lawsuit, we only had one lawsuit out of all 276, and that was from my opponent.
Oh, no. See, moving on. Okay, yeah. I want to do, on top of this all, you had to deal with, at one point in time, outside of the election, St. Louis News coming over. I mean, you had, I forgot who. Was it Elliot that came over before he retired?
Elliot called me 2 times. There was another guy on Channel 4.
But they did a story on you, didn't you?
They did.
And so I wanted to ask you about this because it's kind of a crisis thing. And for the folks that maybe don't understand how what was going on as your time as mayor, you had multiple St. Louis media agencies calling you for, I hate to say it, but it was shaping up to be a hit piece.
Oh, 100%.
And just from the way that I was kind of following along, and just from my couple of, just looks at an email, I could see it just shaping out that way. And now on the flip side of it, and this is where, people might say CJ's biased, but I mean, they went out there and they interviewed you. You were put on the spot.
Yep.
And how did that interview turn out?
It turned out they found out that it was false. Were there situations that happened? Yes. that was way before my time, and it was nothing but a political avenue against somebody else, which is very unfortunate. You know what I mean? Because we are all in this community to make it better. But it was just a go after, transition, political run to try to stomp on somebody, you know?
Well, and, you know, going back to that too, your opponent, because now a write-in, and this is where I kind of wanted to circle back, because this is dangerous for an incumbent. And I'm going to tell you, because no matter what, the moment your opponent's off the ballot, hands are going up.
Oh,
you know,
God.
I'm sorry.
And it has been all over social media. It's my fault.
I might, you know, and I know you, but I mean, that's, if I'm a voter, I'm going, whoa, why are you kicking your opponent off the ballot? But let's talk about this a little bit, because you said that there were some issues with the paperwork, and then there was some legal action taken, correct, on this. And what was the conversation? What did that look like? You know, that legal action that followed in those conversations.
Yeah, so we actually had a third party, our village attorney,
Okay.
and my opponent's attorney actually went to Madison County and got another set of eyes on this.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So could I have went right in as me being the mayor? Yes. But I wanted to step back to show the people in the town how serious this is. And on record, that gentleman flat out said that South Roxana would be in a whirlwind of storm if they proceeded forward with this. Now, this is a third-party person. So this is not TJ Callahan. This is not anybody else on the board. This is not either lawyer. This is somebody that both lawyers agreed on to say this same thing. So if the people in South Roxana really hone in and see that, that raises a big red flag. And it's been posted on social media. You can hear it firsthand from that gentleman's mouth. I'm looking what's best for our village. And that's my job.
Well, and now how much did it, I mean, again, because you're a small village and it's part of your budget, how much does that cost you at the end of the day?
Yeah. So altogether with the whole lawsuit, we're probably looking right around $25,000 to $30,000. My opponent got $10,000, and then we had to pay our lawyer fees, which was $15,000, which goes right back to what I was telling you, that the when the records of the board meeting, the staff, and everything went through, it all would have been free through the Attorney General. That's a true statement.
Wow. Okay. Well, the other thing that's been going on lately too has been this, you know, issue with the police. I hate to use the word issue, but in campaigns, that's kind of what that's the term. Their issues or their situations. And there's been some accusations about, you know, some hidden pay for your chief of police, which is Bob Coles, correct? Is that, and I got to ask you, and this is serious because I know that, there's been a lot going on, and I, needless to say, but when you start talking hidden pay and you start throwing that stuff out, it's not just that's not just a conversation. That's potentially legal action and a lot of money that's coming back. So can you clarify this? Is there? I mean, I would hope that. I don't know how to, you know, ask it any clearer. Is there any hidden pay going to Bob Coles?
No, not at all. And I really do believe that is the very frustrating part of it. He wears many hats. We don't have the funding to pay for a city administrator and a police chief and, you know, public works director and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that. So he wears many hats. And just like you talk about, and anybody else that is in corporate America, when inflation goes up, costs go up.
Okay.
So when we discuss this with the board, and again, this is not TJ Callahan, the board makes the decision.
Right.
Okay? I don't make the decision. You know, my opponent just keeps hammering how, you know, Bob's getting 5 pension, he's doing this. He's got one. He gets one paycheck and he gets a stipend. And that stipend is clearly the difference of like you would have, just like you did, when you've got initial increase.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's frustrating. And the board decides that, not TJ.
Well, and that's a good clarifier, and it brings me to kind of that next point is there's been a lot of complaints about maybe I would say some bias because there's some folks that maybe say, well, there's some hoops I got to jump through to, I don't know, speak my mind at a meeting, do X, Y, and Z to have conversations, and as somebody that follows this enough, I kind of know how the meeting rules work and just kind of what the process is for a lot of other municipalities. And you can't just show up and speak it. You have to, request time and do those things. But, for you to clarify today too, for the people that are going, hey, you know what? I don't understand this. Why do I have to sign up in advance? Why can't I just come as a taxpayer and tell you how I feel? I wanted to kind of touch on that too, because I think that's, I don't want to say uninformed, but I think the disconnect sometimes is just not understanding the process.
As far as I kind of
like, signing up, because people are, we're saying, needing to speak at board meetings or, all of that stuff. And, it's their processes, TJ, but is it one of those things where it's just not being as informed on how the process works? I mean, like, what is the process for South Roxana for residents to air their thoughts to you, to boards, to you name it?
So a big part of it is communication. That's why I wanted to get this website. We've not had a website. They can actually go on the website now. Thank you to the RiverBender again for signing complaints and doing things, right? Yeah. But my door is always open. But if you want to speak at a meeting, all you have to do is call the village clerk, sign your name up, and then we give you 3 minutes to speak. It's not a time for us to say, okay, we're going to fix this right now, but it gives everybody the opportunity. And I will back up real quick just to add on Bob's pay, since everybody keeps talking about that and bringing that up. It has been out there numerous thousand times on social media. If you look around the other municipalities, Bob is actually making between $20,000 and $25,000 less.
Wow.
A year than all the other chiefs, and the other chiefs hold one job. Bob's doing 4.
That's another good point. That's a very good point. Let's talk about we have a couple more minutes, so let's talk about the infrastructure and some of the projects that you've been doing. I mean, we talked about the senior center and all that good stuff, and I think that's wonderful. But let's talk about, and we've discussed it a couple of times on the show, you guys don't get the huge funding that other cities and municipalities do. So how do you guys fund your road and street repairs?
So we work really hard on that, right? That's one thing that my opponent is working on, and I have the numbers here. Probably when we get back from break, we can really break those down here in just a minute. But, we try to push the grants. We try to get what we can. But what people don't understand is yes, there's grants out there and there's this much money. But you have a ton of people coming after and all that. It's all the same pie. It's not like, hey, we're going to do that. That's why I'm very thankful that we do get the chip and rock. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because at least every year we are getting that small base to put down.
Well, and when it comes to it, why does it get so expensive? I mean, because you do know a little bit about this just in your background. Why does it get so damn expensive when it comes to
the problem is and this is what I hope people really understand. It's not just replacing the roads. You've got all the old infrastructure underneath there. You've got old water pipes. You've got electrical. You've got gas stuff that may need to be run. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to layer out this road for $50,000 because then next week, if a pipe breaks or something goes on there, you're digging it right up. So you've got to figure out, hey, how do I transition all this new piping, all of this infrastructure underneath? So when we go to lay that down, then you know what? We have got a security blanket praying that nothing else goes wrong in that area and then move next, right? I mean, that is the proper logic of doing that. And unfortunately, I'm here to tell everybody that we don't have $50 million. And when we get back, I'll break that down for you. I have those numbers for you to break that down. It's impossible to do that. So for my opponent to say, oh, we're going to fix roads and do all this, how? You've been under infrastructure for 2 years. You haven't done anything. We don't have the money to do it.
It's a good point, TJ. I mean, it really is. So how would a village pay for it?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you whenever we get back.
Oh.
I've got the whole breakdown, and we'll go right through that.
So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the breakdown on all that, and then I'll give you a time for some closing thoughts.
Yeah.
Just like always, too, because I think that sometimes people think that I don't have an open door policy. My door is open for your opponent as well.
Absolutely.
And I just want to make that known, too, because I think sometimes I get kind of smoked for, being biased. And I'm not the door. It just, you come on the show and you like to talk to the people, and I appreciate that, TJ, very much. So we'll come back with the breakdown of some of the payouts and some of those numbers. We'll come back with closing thoughts, and we got Faith still coming up next.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sorry, we have like 18,000 people outside the studio, right? It is incredible.
It is awesome.
We've had a busy show all day long and just a busy thing. Coming up, Got Faith joins us to close out our show today. We are back with the Mayor of South Roxana, TJ Callahan, as I am trying to keep my sanity today. TJ, State of the Race coverage continues. And, getting back into... this whole road question. So, you know what? Let's start with the bond payment first. Let's go into that because I know you wanted to break down the numbers, and I do have some questions about roads and those processes. But you know what? This is it because I I think before we go into numbers, it'd be good to talk about why, some of these things get so expensive, and then some of the committees, because man, it's tough, and it's one of those things where people might see that budget start to decrease because you got 3 or 4 projects. So what is the cost of a typical road repair for you guys in South Roxana? And why, again, do things become so expensive?
Yeah, so one of the things that we'll talk about is the motor fuel tax, right? The MFT. So unlike newer towns, our roads were, originally built and based. And what I want to get into and really understand, and this is what I broke this down, is the bond payment that you were discussing.
I'm glad I asked the first question.
Yes. The village issues a 30-year municipal bond at 4% interest rate. Okay. That estimated cost would be $71.5 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
So if you're looking at that, and you just break that down in a year, that's roughly $4 million a year.
Ooh.
On what? A $1.1 million budget.
Right.
It does not work.
Right.
The math is not there.
Right. That's true.
So what we do is that from that motor fuel tax, also we get from the population of South Roxana. Okay. So in essence, if I live in South Roxana because I cannot afford to live in Palm Beach Lakes or Edwardsville. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't afford that, right?
No one can right now.
Well, that's my point, right? We would have to raise each body's taxes by like $5,000 and $6,000. So instead of you paying $1,500 or $2,000, you could pay $6,000 or $7,000, and we would be able to fund that money. Okay. It's not feasible. It's never
another rent.
Exactly. It'll never happen, right? It'll never happen. That's why we have the oil and chipper where we're at. So if South Roxana funds are $71.5 million infrastructure through property taxes, and I broke this down for per household. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's $5,466,000.
Can I see that?
So so your monthly increase is $500 a month.
That's what I thought. I said another
house payment.
It's another rent.
So there's no changing this. There's no foo-barring numbers. There's, you know what I mean? Like this is exactly what it is. So if South Roxana matched, right? Like took 50% and matched that, you're talking that we would have to have a bond agreement at $2 million.
Right.
On what? A $1.1 million project, on a $1.1 million budget.
Yeah.
It does not work. The math is not there.
I agree with you on that.
So please explain when my opponent wants to continue to run on this. I can't tell everybody we're going to have the best of roads in 10 years. That's impossible to even say. It doesn't work that way.
Well, and TJ, it's great that you bring that up, and good to inform us all. And it's been great talking with you for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But this cycle, especially for you guys in South Roxana, and it's just amazing that things can get so nasty. Let's talk about some of the positive stuff.
Yeah.
What are some of the positive things going on in South Roxana, and what's your vision kind of just going forward?
Sure. So, and this is great that you bring this up. So the community center being done,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I'm going to go on public record again. I never once stated that it was all me. This started back when Beasley was mayor. This started back when Mike Davis was mayor. This started back when Barb was mayor,
Mm-hmm.
Barb Overton. Everybody has had a hand in making sure that this has happened. Past board members, Ron Baggett, all them. There has been so many people putting their hands on this. And this is what I love about this community center so much, is it's like everybody is, and I use football as an analogy. CJ, you took it to the 50, Barb took it to the 40, you know what I mean? And then, I scored a touchdown. it's everybody working together. I'm so tired of saying, well, this is what I'm hearing. Oh, he's done all this. He has not done anything.
And see, I gotta stop this crap because I'm so tired of everyone saying, I heard this. We are towns of less than 25,000 people. Okay?
Thank you.
And not even saying South Roxana. It's Alton, it's Godfrey, it's all of them. Everyone always has these rumors. Call the person.
Yeah.
And this ain't New York and you're calling Mayor Adams, okay?
Yeah, we're together as a community.
And I'm not doing that to blow smoke. It's every community right now is throwing these rumors out where it's like, well, I heard such and such on Tuesday of last week slipped on a banana peel. Well, I don't know. Call them. It's not that hard.
That's it. And the same thing, my door is always open. So we have the community center, the infrastructure upgrades, including the water line and the sewer lift stations.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's big.
That's huge,
that's
right?
Very big.
So I was, again, a part of that. You know what I mean? But it's not just me. The new village website, that is something that we were pushing very heavy to do. Yeah. And again, if anybody out there is looking to get a website, I highly recommend the RiverBender. They do a fantastic job. And thank you again, CJ and the RiverBender for helping us with that.
Just thank them because I have no technical ability.
Yeah. and then
sorry, don't.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
But what is your vision going forward?
So, my whole vision, and I actually wrote this down. I always say that South Roxana has been a hardworking community, and we've made real progress despite all those challenges, right? And continue on having challenges. But unfortunately, some candidates are more focused on political games than real solutions. Okay? So just like anything, I want to continue on growth. I want to continue on the opportunity and the vision to make things better. We have park grants that are out there. Mm-hmm. We've got, I'm in the process of trying to get Dollar General upgraded, which is in the process of getting done. Wonderful. I'm in the process of trying to work to get another gas station in there. Wendy Floyd, her father Felix, when he was the mayor in Roxana, when I was an auxiliary police officer in Roxana, he's got land on there that she's trying to help the village to help get developed, to get new business and new opportunity and new growth, looking at different areas of annexing property to get new business into our community. That is my main goal and focus, trying to bridge this gap with the Dad's Club to try to help them get upgraded and have opportunity. There is so much more that we can do in our community instead of this.
Let me ask you this then. Are you willing after the election, if all goes well, to put things in the past and move forward for Roxana with your opponent, if she was willing to do the same?
Oh, absolutely. I do that now. Prime example is, in right on social media, politics ain't for the weak. I'm not a politician. I'm a neighbor. I love our community. I want to strive and be successful. That's why that cross is on my campaign. God is my number one priority. God is going to get me through this. If I win the election, I'm going to keep giving 120% into our village. If I don't win and people still need me, I'm still going to give that 120%. That's cool. That is what makes the difference.
That's really cool. TJ, best of luck April the 1st.
Thank you.
And we'll take a quick break. We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com. Got Faith joins us next.